Okay, here's the truth. You may have heard me say this before, but every single person is a medium. Every single person has got a psychic ability, a unique genius, a superpower. Everybody is unique. Everyone is special. I know. Does that make us kind of like not special because we're all special? No, because every single gift we have, just like the X-Men, is really important when it comes to the collective consciousness. Every single person is a medium, but the mediums out there, a lot of the hotshot mediums, they don't want to tell you that. So I'm here to tell you, you are a medium. But the real question I want to explore is, do you have what it takes to hone into the skill of mediumship? First of all, we've got to address the mistaken beliefs. Yes, we have been programmed by the television, by our parents, by our grandparents, by the churches and our peers that we are status quo, kind of not special, and we should not go too far this way or this way. Actually, we should kind of stay in the box and go straight ahead. So mediumship, woo-woo, crazy, new age, for most of us, has been out of the question, which means that there's a very minority of conscious parents that brought us up, and maybe you were lucky enough to be brought up in the spiritual world where your parents said, fly, be conscious, be whatever you want to be. But most of us were brought up with Christianity, or at least a residue of Christianity from a few generations back. So it is programmed into us that we aren't really that special. Maybe we're special to our mum and dad, but not really anywhere else, because the education system has been the thing that has shaped us. But going back to what I said, you have a unique gift, a unique genius, an energetic superpower of mediumship, and it comes in all different shapes, forms, and sizes. Our abilities are so vast, and I want to share with you why I think it is super important to tap into these gifts. I think it's more important than the system we have been brought up in. Although I'm grateful for that, because it got me to where I am now, and I love being educated. I love the fact I can read. I love the fact I can speak. Love the fact I can do basic maths. But energy is our first language. Most people are afraid to step out of the status quo. Most of us have been afraid to actually go against what our parents wanted for us. We either rebel or we stay in line. But how many of us are actually going, thanks mum and dad for helping me to evolve this far. See you later. I'm on my own now. I'm going to go and find out what my own beliefs are, drop the mistaken beliefs, the mistaken limitations, and I'm going to do you and myself proud. Not on a cognitive level, but on a soul level. Because isn't that what we're here for? Evolving beyond our parents' evolution? And aren't our children meant to evolve beyond us and look back at us and go, wow, quite limited there, mum and dad. Don't worry, thanks for getting me this far. Now I'm going to make you proud by going further, by becoming more conscious, by tapping into my superpowers. So I hope you're still with me, because I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things I think are the most important when you're delving into mediumship. Starting with number 1, audacity. Told you! Totally out of the box today. Audacity. So everyone can be a medium, but not everyone has what it takes to be a medium. Just like everybody has legs, but not everybody is an athlete, because some people would rather do nothing than actually hone into their skill and get practiced at it. I'm always saying to my magnificent mediumship students, practice, 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 practice. Everything is within the practice. Everything is within putting ourselves out there, and you have to be audacious to do that. Why? Because of the story I told you a couple of minutes ago about being in the box, being in the straight line, either being the rebel or being the good girl. We have been playing it safe, and to put yourself out over and over and over again means you may be failing forward. Take 2 steps, you get a no. Take another 2 steps, you get a no. Take another 2 steps, you get a no. And we can look at really famous authors like Elizabeth Gilbert from Big Magic, and she made a little dedication, a little prayer at 16 years old, and she said, "Dear God, I promise that I will always be a writer, and I promise I'll put my heart and my soul into this, and I don't expect anything from the writing. This is just something I want to do. I want to do this for the world. And she got no after no after no after no after no after no, like many artists of like singers and writers and actresses. The art, the creativity, they got so many no's before they got a yes. To have what it takes to be a successful medium, meaning actually talking to the other side, means the audacity pairs up with patience. Too many people quit because they didn't get it right the first time. So they think, I don't have what it takes. And maybe they don't. Because audacity is something that requires a lot of courage, bravery. When I first started my very first Facebook community where I wanted to share things with people, I didn't even know how to use Facebook. I didn't even know how to create a group, how to create a graphic. Like, it was all like so over my head. And I'm still very limited when it comes to technology. But I didn't let the first fail stop me. Or the first time I tried to do a reading. Or the first time I put my business out there and I started a program. I got 1,000 no's. But then I started getting so many yeses. It's the same with spirit. It's the same with everything in life. If you are audacious enough to keep going, keep putting yourself out there, keep singing your song, people start listening. Things start happening. The universe hears you and says, yeah, here's the signs, here's the synchronicities. Here is the clairaudience, here is the clairvoyance, here is the claircognizance. Let us activate you. We see that you desire this. We see that you want this. Meet me 50%. But too many humans are like, they try once and then they fail. I'm no good at running because they went for one run. I know this all too well because before I put on the jacket of audacity, I was a person who sat there going, I'm going to wait for the courage to find me, but courage will never find you. You have to literally feel the fear and do it anyway. Fear is your go sign. You can't wait for the fear to dissipate. You can't wait for somebody to go, come with me, I'll hold your hand. Right? You've got to stand in the fire. And you've got to allow yourself to be unstoppable. You've got to allow yourself to literally go forward and never go back. Never come in. Never let the fear of failure or fear of fraudulism, never let that take you down. Because there's only one way when you want to be a medium, and that's forward, right? Forward and out and up. Because you're not going to get yeses all the time. And if you notice and you watch mediums, they ask questions, right? I always ask questions, and for every no, I'm like, thank you. It's getting me closer to the yes. Be audacious in everything that you do, especially mediumship. So are you willing to be audacious? Are you willing to eat fear for breakfast? Are you willing to get the no's? Are you willing to stand in the fire and feel the fear and jump anyway? If you want to be a medium, you've got to put on that jacket, put on that cape of audaciousness. Number 2, self. This is like so simple, okay? I could tell you how to read cards. I could tell you how to channel. I can give you the ABC. I have got programs galore, but the stuff I'm teaching you right now is just as important and is a massive thread of what I teach in my signature MM certification. Sense of self. To know spirit is to know yourself. This is the most profound thing I have ever heard in mediumship. And one of my very first mentors, I remember her saying that. You've got to know yourself. You've got to know who you are. So If you know that you are spirit, then you can connect with spirit. If you don't see yourself as spirit, or you put spirit on a pedestal, or you've got loosey-goosey boundaries, something that I go deep into in Magnificent Mediumship, then what will actually happen is you won't even know if you're Arthur or Martha. How are you going to know the difference between your emotions or the emotions of spirit? How are you going to know the difference between your imagination or images of spirit? How are you going to know the difference between what you're hearing with your ears or what you're hearing with your eyes? Your sense of self is so important. The first thing I do when people come and work with me on a one-to-one basis or come into my certification is we go deep into the person, the sense of self. We have got an aura, and our aura is so magnetic. It is so special, and every single person has got a different aura because different things are going on. It is our energetic blueprint. It is connected to our chakra system. If we've got loosey-goosey boundaries, usually there's some type of crack, or maybe there's a weakness in the aura, and what actually happens is we literally disconnect from ourselves, and we can literally start feeling entities and energies around us. So this is when we need to understand what is ours and what is not ours. So what am I going to suggest here? If you want to be a medium that has what it takes, you can't emotionally bypass, spiritually bypass, anything bypass, you physically bypass, you can't do it. You cannot ignore yourself and go, give me the tools of mediumship. It's never going to work. You're never going to be able to connect in, because you must be aligned to connect in with the higher vibration spirits, with the signs and synchronicities. Have you ever noticed that when you're feeling really good, you're feeling in joy, and maybe you're driving the car and then all of a sudden a feather falls down, and then a beautiful hawk flies past, and all of a sudden you see the 111 on the number plate, and all of a sudden your friend rings you at 222, and you're like, oh my God, it's like signs and synchronicities. Those are the days that you're in the sense of self. You're present enough in your body to see the signs and synchronicities. They are always there, but you only see them, they only appear when you are in the sense of self. The problem is, most of us don't understand the sense of self. Most of us don't understand, because some of us haven't even had 5 minutes to ourselves for 20 years, right? Am I right? Some of us have been so busy chasing ourselves or trying to keep up with the world on the hamster wheel, or the roller coaster of emotions, or whatever's been going on, the empath ride, the whatever, that we haven't even checked in to go, who am I? What is my sense of self? So I really invite you to put your hands on your heart and go, show me my sense of self. The truth is, you're the same kid as you were when you were 5 and 6. You're the same kid as you were when you were 16 and 17, right? There's an essence within you, a soul seed that doesn't go anywhere. I'll be the same kid when I'm 90 than I was when I was 40, right? We don't change that much. Our personality changes, sure, but our sense of self, our soul seed, our essence is super unique. This is the key to your superpower and ability. So are you willing? Are you willing to do number 2 and to come into the space of self? Meditation, hand on heart, breath, space. This is something that is the most important thing when it comes to mediumship. And so many of the famous mediums, if you read their books, they tell you about time when they were lonely because they didn't have anyone around them. Maybe they were neglected a bit as a child, or maybe they had things happening when they were younger and spirit came in because they were usually alone. So they had a really good sense of their self. So when external came in, they were like, oh my goodness, this isn't mine. And then they start forming and they start seeing things and they start hearing things. But if you've been on the go your whole entire life and you haven't taken any time for you, and if you're afraid of that, if you're afraid of space, then maybe you don't have what it takes. But maybe you can take that on and start practicing. Am I willing to practice to be by myself, to even get the sense of myself whilst in a room of others? I would love to know how this is resonating with you. Number 3 is so simple, but it's so important. Like I said, everyone is a medium, but not everyone has what it takes. It's just like everyone can create businesses, be entrepreneurs, but not everyone is going to want to, and not everybody is going to have what it takes, right? It's all choice. It's like, how much do we really desire this and want this? Do we want to be the best at whatever game we're playing? Some of us want to get off the couch and go train for that half marathon. Some of us are not interested, and that is okay. But if you're still here watching this video, I would put my hat on it that you are a medium and you do have what it takes. Because even if you're going, oh, I'm a bit like that, oh, I'm a bit like that, it's not your fault. You were brought up like that. So you can practice and hone into what we've talked about today, being more courageous and audacious, tuning into your sense of self. And the third one is compassion. Psychopaths do not make very good mediums. Why? Because they literally do not have compassion. For you to be a medium, for you to have what it takes, you've got to understand there's a thing called ego. And when we are not allowing ourselves to tune in, to feel, to completely feel, when we're saying we're not good enough, I don't know if I can do it, maybe one day, when the courage comes, we are literally we are cheating ourselves, right? So if you can access this, this is the golden nugget right now. If you can access love, which we all can, if you can access compassion, which means you have to be human. So no more, I don't want to be human, I want to go to another planet, I want to be on the phone. Like, you're human. You are human. I am human. It's a wonderful experience here because we get to be multiple dimensional beings as well, but you are human. So you've got this big, juicy, amazing, beautiful heart. And if you can access the compassion, and the compassion comes from your experiences. We have all been through pleasure and we've all been through pain. We've all had hardships. Even Rapunzel at the top of the tower, it was lonely up there, right? The external couldn't hurt her, but it was lonely. We've got to be around humans. We've got to experience things. We've got to have color. We've got to get our hands dirty. We've got to smack into the wall to try to find the light sometimes, or find the door and then go, next time we know where the door is or the light is. We've got to experience things so we understand other human beings. We all know what it's like to lose somebody we love, because essentially these bodies are just borrowed. They are temporary. They are carbon matter. Our spirit will never die, but our human body does, and we feel a grief within us. We feel a compassion. Our heartstrings are pulled when we watch a really good TV ad, or we're watching Dog's Purpose, or Dirty Dancing gets me crying, right? Because we have compassion, because we have feelings. Don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to open your heart up, to connect in with spirit, to connect into the person that you're reading for. To ask somebody, do you mind if I practice doing readings on you? It's a skill I want to practice. We all have it. And I want to be courageous enough to go forward and play. I want to open my heart. I want to come into the sense of self. These are the 3 things that I believe is what it takes to be a great, magnificent medium. The students that are super successful are those that drop all ego. They are willing to get no's. They keep showing up even if they're feeling the fear of failure. They show up even if they're like, I feel like I'm a fraud and I shouldn't even be here. 99% of people that come to me will go through a triggering. They will go through a massive growth. But before the massive growth, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. Because we're the ones that go out and get the courage. Courage never comes to those sitting around on the couch. The bodies of great sportsmen and sportswomen are not built by sitting around waiting for the muscles to grow. They're fueling with the protein, with the knowledge. They're fueling with the training, with the practice. It takes audacity and courage. It takes a sense of self and time to really explore your human and your spirit and your mentality, to clean up the old mistaken beliefs. And it takes compassion. It takes heart. You must always lead with love. Those that are doing it for the money, they don't stay around for long. They have lots of illnesses. They have things that happen to them. Their bodies get dense. They get ill. Those that are doing it for the money, that are not sharing all of their truths, that you're a medium too, that are not teaching you how to do it. Instead, they're saying, give me your money and I'll tell you about next month. Right? No. What if we could all access these gifts and all help one another? And sure, we can do this for a job, a full-time job. Absolutely. But you've got to do it with heart. You've got to be strong, because there's going to be naysayers out there trying to keep you small, trying to keep you in the box. You have to have the courage. You've got to leave your ego at the door. These are the things that make somebody a really great medium. So yeah, everyone can be a medium, but not everyone has what it takes. I'd love to know, do you have what it takes? Are you committed? Are you courageous? Are you audacious? Do you have a big heart? Are you willing to deep dive into yourself to know that you are spirit and spirit is you? Until next time, I'll see you soon.